again there, Wildcat fans, and welcome back to yet another edition of the LC Coaches Show. I am Brad Welburn here with Wildcats Media Sports. Glad to be joined once again by our very own head coach, Dennis Dunn of the Wildcats. And Coach, let's just get right into it. Obviously, we talked about it last week, a very big game, big opportunity for you guys to really kind of turn some heads nationwide if we were able to come away with the victory. Unfortunately, ball bounced a little bit funny one time. Ball goes over somebody's head another time, and another kick thing, punt. We can talk about it, but those were the three big plays really in that: the fumble, the punt mistake, and then the kickoff return that really told the story of the game.
Well, last week we talked about two evenly matched teams. I thought we matched up with Hardin-Simmons top to bottom, and it was a very winnable game. But we knew we would have to play flawlessly in order to win the game because they're a very well-coached team. Again, they're number 9 in the nation, whatever poll you want to look at, and that means something. They've got a history. They're a very proud program. And the one thing you talk about going into the week is whoever wins the turnover battle typically is going to win the game. And then you add a couple of kick game errors to that, then that spells disaster, and that's exactly what happened. We turned the ball over 5 times. We snapped a ball over the punter's head for a touchdown. Had a kickoff return for a touchdown. Without that, I think you're right there. We fumble the ball going in, 1st and goal on the 3, and unfortunately, against great football teams, you can't do that. You got to really protect the football, and unfortunately, we didn't do that, and they did, and that's thus the outcome of 2016 Hardin-Simmons. Yeah. However, a lot of football left, Brad, and our guys, I think, will respond, and we will do the right thing going forward, and I'm excited about the next 5 weeks for sure. Mm-hmm.
Well, and you look at it and look at the film and all that sort of stuff, and the punt mistake and the kickoff return are two of the ones that really jump out at you. But that fumble might have been an even bigger play because I believe, if I'm right, it was the first drive of the third quarter. Obviously, we're down 14-7 at halftime. We score there. I mean, it's a tie ball game, and who knows what happens.
Well, it was the difference, really, at that point. We had all the momentum going into halftime because we scored right there before the half. We take the first drive, march the length of the field, get down to the 3, and fumble there on the 3-yard line, and that stole the momentum back. And defense came up big again, held them again. Then offense gets a 3 and out, and at that point we've got to make a play offensively. We don't, and then unfortunately we had a freshman snapper who is our snapper. He's got to step up and do the deal. Snapped it over the punter's head, and boom, they're up 21-7, and that changes your game plan at that point for sure.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think they made his first real mistake of the year. It just came at a bad time. I mean, it happens. But one of the other things that we can talk about for sure, definitely I think a bright spot in the game was we knew kind of going in that Hardin-Simmons is going to play back their Tampa defense, as they call it, and make you kind of work the field to progress short passes here and there. And I think one of the things that resulted in that was the fact that Shed was able to tie the school record for receptions in the game. I mean, that's got to be a little bit of a silver lining, I think, for a loss.
Going in, that they're not going to give up the big play, and we typically are a big play kind of offense, and they make you take certain things underneath, and they don't believe that you're going to be patient enough to take that all the way down the field. And for 2.5 quarters, we did. We took what they were giving us, and they were giving us throws underneath, and for the most part, Easton was taking them, and of course, Easton's a gunslinger. He likes to throw the seam routes, and he's got such a strong arm. He doesn't need much of a window, and then later in the game, we had opportunities to take the shorter throws, and we weren't taking them, and that put us in some 3rd and long situations, and that's what we talked about last week too. You got to win 3rd down. And when we were 3rd and 6 or less, we were probably 80%. But when we were 3rd 8 and above, we struggled on third down. So we've got to put our team in position to get third and short, third and medium, and we're in great shape. But you know, you get yourself 2nd 10, third and long. That really puts our offensive line in a bad position, because you know that they're pinning their ears back and coming now. So that's kind of what we got into late in the game, and that wasn't really an indicator of how well our guys had played for 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, and you know, it's said time and time again on these type of games where it's two evenly matched teams. I think we were averaging 47 a game. They were averaging 47.8 or something. The yardages were similar. 9 times out of 10, those type of games, it comes down to a special teams or a play here or there, and I think it's a perfect example this week.
Absolutely, so. and again, those are things that are correctable, and unfortunately, you know, we didn't get it in a game that would have catapulted us into some national attention, but we've still got a lot of season left and still a lot of goals out there, and everything's still wide open for our guys to accomplish everything that they desire to accomplish this season. We're a good football team, and I think that these guys will be mature and handle their business going forward into this week. Got a long trip this week, and hadn't been on the road in about 3 weeks, so we will find out just how well this team responds and how mature we are to respond after a little bit of adversity.
Yeah, so I guess let's talk about that. Like you mentioned, long trip, 12 to 14 hours to Alpine, everybody's favorite road trip of the year, no matter what sport it is. Heading out to Sul Ross this weekend. And the old adage comes to mind is, and I've heard it mentioned a few times around the football offices, even after the game, don't let Hardin-Simmons beat you twice. And that's kind of the mentality you guys have going into this game, to put it behind Sul Ross, very good team, and focus on them.
Very talented team. Played Hardin-Simmons extremely well themselves. You know, very talented quarterback with talented skill. They may be more talented at the skill positions than Hardin-Simmons. And, you know, Sul Ross is a much improved team and have been improving over the last 2 or 3 years. So we know that we're going to get a stiff test out there. You never know what you're going to get in terms of weather. You don't know if you're going to get wind. You don't know if it's, I mean, you're basically in the mountains. You're in the southern Rocky Mountains, and a lot of our guys that will be making the trip have never seen mountains. So it's always a fun trip. It's always an enjoyable time to be away with the team, and I think we'll respond. I think our guys will respond with focus this week and understand that, you know, we still got a lot of football that has to be played, and a lot of football, a lot of opportunity still out there for this team.
Talk a little bit about, you mentioned the quarterback, I believe James Davis, I believe is his name. He can throw and run. He's just the catalyst. He is the offensive production for their team. What kind of challenges does he possess?
Yeah, I mean, anytime a guy can move like he can around in the pocket and then take, I mean, he literally took 2 long scores at Hardin-Simmons. I mean, just tucked the ball and ran and went 80 plus one time against a very good Hardin-Simmons defense, as you saw the other night. Yeah. So he's a guy that's a threat running. He's a threat throwing. He's got a really strong arm, and they've got 3 or 4 guys that can make plays after they catch the ball. So it's a dangerous football team. They're dangerous offensively. They're very sound on defense. They get after it on defense. So I think, Brad, that this team poses as stiff a challenge as anybody we've played, and I've said all along that anybody on any given Saturday in this conference can win. And you look at the top 5 or 6 teams in this conference, anything can happen on any given Saturday.
Yeah, and looking at the numbers that both us and them have put up this year, I mean, it's shaping up to be another one of those games where it's very evenly matched. I think we're both ranked 4th and 5th in the conference, and as far as offense and defensive numbers are concerned. So once again, it could come down to special teams or a play here or there. So I mean, I know you guys are focusing on that as well. Yeah,
I mean, we will continue. Again, you don't plan for those kinds of things. You hope your guys will perform in those areas, but but our deep snapper's a freshman, and anytime you put the ball in a freshman's hand in key situations, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. But we really are proud of Quinn Sipsey. He's done a nice job all year, and he's our snapper. He's going to be our snapper, and we feel good about him. We think he's got a great future here in that position. We got him for 4 years. So I want to brag on him. I mean, he felt horrible about it during the game. I went over and said, look, you're going to have to go do that again.
Yeah.
So put it behind you. I mean, just move forward, and we're going to be fine. And but exciting times, 5 really good teams ahead, and several. We got 2 or 3 more home games that are going to be a lot of fun for our fans, and this is a road trip that's difficult to make. We're going to change it up a little bit from what we've done in the past. We'll leave on a Thursday night late, drive through the night, and we'll just see how our guys respond to that.
Yeah. Definitely is shaping up to be a lot of fun the next 5 weeks. 3 out of the next 5 are on the road, but those 2 starting next week with back-to-back home games. So I know for sure that the 2 teams that came in here and left with victories are saying that are kind of like, whew, we escaped. So I feel like that's going to be certainly something to look forward to down the road with some more good games for sure.
Well, I guarantee you Hardin-Simmons left here knowing they didn't face the same team they faced last year, and they are, and I'm sure feel very fortunate to get out of here with a win. But again, all due respect to them, they came in, they handled their business, and did what they had to do to get a win. And I just think that every team we play here on out is very, very capable football team, and we will have to play our very best ball in order to get victories.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to about wrap it up for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Again, we have live footage of the game on our website, lcwildcats.net, so you can follow the Wildcats and see how they're doing on Saturday against Sul Ross. And we'll be back here next week to talk with Coach Dunn about hopefully a victory, and looking forward after that as well. Thanks again to Jeff Young and the Convergence Media Department for making this show happen. I am Brad Wilburn with Wildcats Media Sports for Coach Dunn. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.